Thanks, Penny. You may hear the sounds of two little girls in the background because I'm in the home of Christine Joly, the woman behind the Hobart Mums Network and also the Haven. When did you find out that you were losing your space in the CBD?
Last Thursday. Yeah, so only a few days ago.
But you knew that it was possibly coming?
Oh, yeah, it was always on the cards. When Eco Haven, the owner of Eco Haven, who generously let us use the space rent-free, when they recently relocated their premises, we were always in limbo. The owner of the building has graciously let us continue using it until a tenant could be found, and a potential tenant has been found, and so we've been given notice that we'll need to find a new place or at least move away from the premises.
If we don't know about the Haven, what was the concept behind it, or what were you hoping to achieve?
I was hoping to entice families back into the city because there are so many factors that keep families away from the city, whether it's parking or just that, it's not really pedestrian friendly. And so I wanted to give families a reason to feel that the city welcomed them. And so we wanted a welcoming space, warm, hospitable, a place where parents could connect and not just feel isolated. When you come into the city, often you have a to-do list. You just have to tick it off the list and then let's get out of here before we have to feed the meter again. But I wanted community to happen in the city again. And I believe we achieved that. So many friendships have been formed. Business partnerships between mums and business have formed. And it's been a great thing, and I hope that the city can learn from our experience and continue to welcome families into the city.
You've mentioned business, and the Hobart Mums Network has become a springboard for a business. There'll be people asking, if you're running a business, why you don't rent a premises.
Well, because we are a community organization, you have to consider who our members are. Our members are mums. And our mums, some of them are working, some are not, some are stay-at-home mums. And so some might say, oh my goodness, you have over 3,000 people who like you on Facebook. How come you can't raise the money from your base? And to be honest, everybody, it has it hard at the moment. If you do work, the money is going toward your family, to transport costs, to your mortgage. And to be honest, we're finding it hard to convince, our base to buy a $25 cookbook to help to support the network. And so I understand that I can't ask, all of our mums to pay for a CBD retail rental space. It's just not going to happen.
This news hanging over your head, or you being in limbo, hasn't stopped you organising things. You've got our politicians coming into the Haven. What were some of the issues that mums were raising?
So before we even heard about the news, I invited all the major parties to send a politician to the Haven to speak to local families, but also a chance for local families to speak back to the politicians about what they find is important. On Friday, Anna Reynolds came in, the Greens candidate, and yesterday, Andrew Wilkie.
What issues were raised? What were people asking? Or what were mums asking?
So the paid parental leave, Anna suggested that the Greens support the idea of extending the paid parental leave to 6 months. That was met with interest, and Andrew Wilkie stated emphatically that he was against the cut toward single parents' pension. And it was great to be able for them to communicate what they found was most important for Australian families, but also to be able to be in a space with normal people and to get the feedback from normal people about, we don't think that's going to work, or how is that going to work? Are you going to be taking money away from, business to make that work? That sort of stuff. And I think both candidates so far found it quite helpful to get the feedback, but also to, have a chance to have a platform.
Was it helpful for Hobart mothers to be able to raise questions? Were there particular issues or needs that were raised, or did you just let the politicians have a platform and have their say?
There were a few mothers who had particular points of view. There was one mother who came on Friday and had a chance to say to Anna that she thinks that I don't know what any politicians might think of this, and some of the mums were quite excited about the possibility, but What about exploring the idea of giving mums who decide to stay at home, instead of giving them money to then give to childcare centers, give them the money to look after their children, but also on top of that, consider super, because mums who are staying at home aren't able to bring in the super to support them later in life. And so it's out there for consideration. That's all I'm saying.
This afternoon, I believe you've received an email. There's been some action or activity in Hobart CBD already to support the Hobart Mums Network.
You like the Gruffalo, yeah.
So what's happened this afternoon that you can tell us?
Yeah. Just this afternoon, I received an email from someone who's very interested in bringing families in to see, has a shared vision with us. And so I'm meeting with a few of these people tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I hope to have some very exciting news in the next few days.
Could it be a better space?
I think it is. I've personally been to the space before and used it when my children were doing a music program in the city. And it's warm, and it's got toilets and a spacious kitchen. And did I say it's warm? Which is not something that the Haven is currently. It's quite cold, being a basement location. And so I'm looking forward to exploring that possibility.
I can't take my eyes off the green icy pole your daughter's eating. What is that? I'm trying to think, what is that coloured green? It's not kiwi fruit. What is it?
Shh, she thinks it's kiwi fruit.
That was green when it's green.
It is. It's leftover green smoothie that we just made into icy pole. So it has rock melon, but hidden spinach and mint leaves in it.
Before the Haven was set up, I know you spoke to us about why mothers wouldn't come into the city. Do you think you've overcome that barrier with setting up that space? And will this continue in your new location? Fingers crossed for you.
I think that it's still an issue. So when we first opened, and we were just opened as a space, it still wasn't bringing people in, I found. And so then we started offering events. And one of the most popular has been baby and toddler first aid info sessions. And that'll bring 10 families in at a time using this space. And I love it during those days because the children are playing, parents are connecting and learning something new. So there needs to be more than just offering a space. And so we'll continue offering our monthly Mumpreneur luncheons. We'll continue offering first aid info sessions,